Can you swim to the shores of gold in Sea of Thieves? This is an age-old question that I will be attempting to answer. I know immediately you probably think no, you can't. You've got to do the tall tale, you've got to get the Shroudbreaker thing on your boat, and then you've got to sail through the Red Sea to the shores of gold on your boat. But why couldn't you swim there? Is anything actually going to stop you? I'm here to find out. So my plan to start with is to go to Marauder's Arch, which is the closest island to the shores of gold, and then swim from there. It's about a 7-tile swim out in the open ocean. If you've seen my video where I swim across the map, that's nothing to me. That's a very easy swim. Sharks or sirens or anything like that. Once I arrive at Marauder's Arch, I'll collect my cooked food from the local wildlife, and then I just got to do the swim. It looks pretty easy, it sounds pretty easy. I'll find out if it actually is. So I then began my sail over to Marauder's Arch. Once I was there, I went and collected all of the cooked food that I needed for the swim. I decided to get 5 cooked food, which is the max, just to play it safe. I probably could have done it with 1 cooked food, to be honest. And then I also made sure I had full overheal before I left. Once I was ready to go, I went and shot myself over to the east side of the island. And this land over on the east side is the closest you can get to the shores of gold, while still being on land. So this is the optimal start point for the swim. I also saw this rowboat when I got over there, which made me wonder if you could rowboat to the shores of gold. That's a bit of a backup plan. I still wanted to swim, so I pointed east, and it's just straight east from here. So I began to swim pretty optimistically. Now I was absolutely locked in with my shark dodging skills. They don't even pose a risk to me anymore. I've done so many of these swims, I can just dodge the sharks very consistently at this point. And once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy. To be honest, this swim is pretty boring. There's no islands, there's no shipwrecks or barrels that I saw. I don't know if they can spawn out here anyways. It's just rocks. There's this one rock, and then there's another rock, and then there's the Red Sea, and then there's the shores of gold. So I swam to the first rock, and then I fought some more sharks, and then I swam to the next rock. That's pretty much all that happened. Nothing crazy. I knew I could make it. I knew the sharks weren't going to kill me. So it was just the fact that, will the Red Sea stop me? Or will I just be able to swim straight through it onto the shores of gold? It wasn't long until the sea started going a little murky, and at first I thought this was just the sun going down, but it was actually the beginning of the Red Sea. So this confirms that you can swim to the Red Sea and swim in the Red Sea and be completely fine. And I found out that sharks can still spawn in the Red Sea. Little fun fact. By now I could actually see the shores of gold off in the distance. I was feeling pretty confident. I thought that if I was going to die, it would be when the sea turned red. I would take damage or just get black screened. But seeing the shores of gold and surviving in the Red Sea, I genuinely thought I was going to get there first try. The sun began to set, and I found out that I was wrong. You do just get black screened. It was like I hit some sort of barrier that I just couldn't swim past, and I got sent straight back to my boat. Seeing as the rowboat was right on the shore and facing the right way, I decided to take it out for a little spin. Thought it was a bit of a sign, maybe I should just check if a rowboat works. I found out really quickly they don't work. I was now onto my second idea, which was to get the Shroudbreaker by doing the tool towel, which then lets you just sail through the Red Sea. Normally how this works is that the Shroudbreaker gets put on your boat because you're supposed to sail through the Red Sea. Obviously I can't do that. So I had 3 ideas how I could still make this work. One is to park my boat and the Shroudbreaker on Marauder's Arch and then just do a swim, and maybe it'll activate and let me swim through. The second idea is to park my boat in the Red Sea, swim back to Marauder's Arch, and then try and swim to the shores of gold. My third idea was to try and somehow glitch past the barrier, but I'm not sure how you do that. With a semi-solid plan, I set out to do the tall tower, and I'd actually never done this tall tower before. Luckily, it's very easy. You just go and talk to this lady in the Devil's Roar, and she just gives you the Shroudbreaker straight onto your boat. So I got given the Shroudbreaker, and I thought I had to do something to activate it, so I actually read through this book. Turns out you don't need to do anything. So I sailed straight to Marauder's Arch to start my next swim. I again sacrificed some of the wildlife to get food for my swim. I wanted to make sure I had max food just in case. I also parked my boat as close as I could to the shores of gold while still being on the island. And after doing this, the thing actually activated, or it started doing this red stuff, which gave me some hope. I was thinking that it was protecting me and I was going to be able to make it. For this first part of the swim, I decided to just speed it up so you can get a sense of what it's like to do one of these swims. This is sped up by 10 times, and as you can see, it still looks like I'm not really even moving. I also just wanted to say thank you to all the subscribers I got recently. As of making this video, I have 2,000. I went from like 700 to 2,000 in a day or something crazy. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed. I'm even monetized now, so I'm extremely grateful. Thank you, everyone. Anyways, after this long time lapse, I have finally made it to the first rock. This is just the first one. You see another one in the distance. I now have to swim to that one and not die to any sharks in the process. Once I made it to that second rock, I was greeted by a pack of sirens. I saved my bullets for this situation, so I was able to take them out pretty easily. If anyone's doing a swim like this, the strategy for these guys is just to keep eating throughout it. Yes, you're going to use some of your food, but it is necessary because if two of them attack you at the same time, you are done for if you don't eat. Night fell and I was back in the Red Sea. Not much I could do here except keep swimming and hope that I wasn't going to hit that same barrier. You can see here how close it lets you get. I'm probably 1 map square away, but unfortunately that barrier did get me for a second time. But I didn't dwell on it. I was straight back into my next plan. I killed some more animals, I cooked some more chicken, and I was ready for my third swim. To outline the plan for this one, it was take my boat and sail it into the Red Sea, preferably around that barrier, maybe past it or maybe on it if I could work out where it was. Then swim back to Marauder's Arch and then swim all the way to the Shores of Gold. My idea was having my boat in the Red Sea would make sure that that Shroudbreaker was active, and hopefully then it would let me swim past that barrier. I sailed my boat back out into the Red Sea and I wanted to make sure that I was further than I was when I swam. So I got pretty close to the Shores of Gold, parked the boat, and then fired myself back out west towards Marauder's Arch, which is the island that I swam from. I was thinking that this would just skip the barrier, but it didn't. I still hit it. I had gone past it on my boat, but then coming back without my boat, I hit it. I thought maybe I went too high or something, so I tried firing more towards the ocean, but the same thing happened. I still hit the barrier. What I was going to do was then try and work out exactly where the barrier was, get as close to it as I can, and try and work out if there's a way that I can get past it. So I raised my anchor and started moving my boat towards where I thought the barrier was. After I moved a bit, I tried shooting myself out again west towards Marauder's Arch, and I could go as far west as I liked. So I had got past the barrier, which meant that it was on the Shores of Gold side. I then tried to fire myself out towards the Shores of Gold and hit the barrier. I fired out again to double check, and I was actually pretty close to it. So then I sailed back that way to try and get right up to the barrier, which then hopefully I could work out a way to get past it. I managed to park the boat perfectly to have the barrier like literally a centimeter in front of the boat. And I'm pretty sure that the barrier is right on this map line or somewhere around there. That's what I was thinking. So I just had to find a way to get past that map line, and then I assumed I could keep swimming on the other side. I tried a whole bunch of things. I tried swimming under it. I tried like doing some harpoon glitching through it. Nothing worked. I tried for some reason dying as I passed it. I thought that might do something. Didn't do anything. I have like half an hour of footage of me just doing a whole bunch of weird stuff trying to get past it, and I couldn't. Tried going over it. I tried all this stuff. It didn't work. I had one final idea, which was to get another person on my boat, have them sail past the barrier, and then harpoon me across it. So I went and tried that. I'm pretty sure the border's on the line. So okay. Sail past the line, then turn the boat horizontal so you can harpoon me.
Yep.
So you're definitely
yeah, okay, I'm over the line now.
Yeah. Oh! Let me see if I can... No! Apparently the line's right there now. From this, we worked out that it's not just a line, it's actually a zone. And now I was trying to work out how big that zone was.
No, and that like went through you.
I'm still coming closer. No!
Because you're at a harpoon range. And
wait, I should have
tried... You can't even jump off the boat here. No, we're not even far enough.
Yeah, so you're out of harpoon, so you can't the zone is longer than the harpoon.
Yep.
What I was able to conclude is that the zone is big enough to stop the harpooning. So if you have your boat in the zone, you can harpoon somebody into it, but as soon as they jump off the boat, you get black screened. If you have your boat past the zone, the harpoon doesn't reach to the other side of the zone. I'm assuming this is probably intentional because it looked like the zone was just big enough to make sure you couldn't harpoon people across. So to answer the question, can you swim to the Shores of Gold? From what I've found out, it looks like you can swim almost all the way there. Then you would have to get on a boat, have the boat sail you across the zone, and then hop back off the boat and swim the rest of the way, which means you can't swim all the way there. Unless someone can work out a way to get past that zone, it seems impossible. If you're still watching at this point, hopefully this has been interesting. I just wanted to try and answer the question. If you could consider subscribing, that would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around.